and welcome to Junior Church for Pebbles. This is going to be our last one, at least until after the summer. I do hope that in autumn we can start meeting again in the stables and I can see you all in church. I thought for our last meeting we should be here in our church. We're going to have a little look around and see what's in here and think about why. So first, there's this strange doorway. You come in and there's steps down into the church. Most churches don't have that. I wonder, do you know why we do? Well, it's all about the man the church is named after, St. John the Baptist. Of course, he was called the Baptist because he baptised people. But he didn't have a font like we did. He used a river. And when people came to be baptised, they stepped down the bank into the water, and then John pushed them right down under the water and up again and baptised them. So these steps are to remind us of that, people stepping down into the River Jordan to be baptised by John. Well, once we get inside the church, the first thing we come to is this. Do you know what it is? Of course, it's our font. It's where we baptise people. I wonder how many of you were baptised in this font here. The font is the first thing we come to because baptism is sort of the start of our journey as Christians. So we come into church and this is the first thing. It tells us that baptism is the beginning of our journey with Jesus. This font is hundreds of years old. Not quite as old as some of the church, but very old. And it's got this beautiful font cover. This is about 100 years old. It's got special carvings on it. Of course, when we want to baptise somebody, we have to lift it up so that we can put water in here. You might have a look at it next time you're in church. If we look up towards the front of church, we can see the pulpit. I'll go and wave from it. This is where people come and tell the story of Jesus. We haven't been able to use it for ages because it's not been really safe to talk out of it. More impressive, though, is the great big chancel arch that goes over the top. This is more than 800 years old. It's got amazing carved stones. And it was built like that to make us look up towards the altar, because that is probably, no, it is the most important part of our church. So here we are right at the front of the church. Our altar isn't very old, but it's where the priest, which is often me, blesses the bread and wine we share when we come to communion. Christians have been doing this since Jesus died. Jesus promised he would be with us specially when we share bread and wine in this way. In our church, anyone who's been baptised can share the bread and wine, or if they prefer, they can have a blessing. Jesus always invited everyone to his table. That's why everyone is welcome here. And we have our special candles, just like we've had at Pebbles all this time. that we light to show that God is here when we're at his table sharing bread and wine. I hope you might come to a service in our church soon. You're welcome, even if there isn't any junior church. Lots of families have come and found they are welcome. Sadly, at the moment, we can't sing in church, but we're hoping to again soon. So, let's sing one of my favourite hymns. It's all about Jesus, of course, since he's the reason we come to this church. I think you probably know this by now. It's one of the very first ones I sang on Pebbles. It's called Who's the King of the Jungle? Who's the king of the jungle? Ooh, ooh. Who's the king of the sea? Bubbly, bubbly, bubbly. Who's the king of the universe? And who's the king of me? I'll tell you. Jesus. Yes, he's the king of me. He's the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Bubbly, bubbly, bubbly. Ooh, ooh. Who's the king of the jungle? Ooh, ooh. Who's the king of the sea? Bubbly, bubbly, bubbly. Who's the king of the universe? And who's the king of me? I'll tell you. Jesus. Yes, he's the king of me. He's the king of the universe, the jungle and the sea. Bubbly, bubbly, bubbly. Ooh, ooh. Shall we have a prayer about our church and our community? Dear God, we thank you for our beautiful church. We thank you for the people who for 900 years have worshipped to you and prayed to you and kept this building so that we can use it today. We pray that there will soon be a time when we can all be back together worshipping in your church. Amen. Now it's nearly time for school holidays. Maybe some of you will still be going to nursery, but there might be more time to do things with our families. So perhaps you'd like to come and have a look at church. There are Sunday morning services, of course, but it's also open on Monday, Thursday and Saturday afternoons from 2 till 4. Why not come in and have a look? Also, we've got a special adult churchyard treasure hunt. The leaflets are at the back of church. Some of them are in the box with the magazines outside. Come and ask for one or help yourself. There's clues and questions to answer, and it takes you all around our churchyard to look for interesting things. Bits of the churchyard are quite overgrown, but the people who look after our churchyard have mown special ways so you can get to the places you need for this. So if you're wading through the long grass, you're in the wrong place. It's great fun, and we'll leave the answers in church too. Something you could do this holiday with your family. Have a lovely summer, and I do hope to see you around the parish and even better in our lovely church. Bye!